Well, hello students, welcome back to Mathematics class with me, Mr. Alfie. In this video, we're going to learn about matrix. Let's check this video out.
We always use number. Some of us use a lot of number every day. How can we deal with those numbers? Ancient Chinese mathematicians come up with arrangement to arrange number. Nowadays, we call the arrangements as matrix. If matrix hang together, we call it matrices. Matrices really are everywhere. They use in business, economics, cryptography, physics, electronics, computer graphic. One thing that makes matrices useful, we can pack so many information into them, and then turn a huge problems into one single problem. So, to use matrices, we need to learn how they work.
Now, we're going to learn about definition of matrix. The table summarizes sales of some items in two shops of computer company for the month of June in certain year. As you can see, this represents sales in two shops, shop 1 and shop 2. In shop 1, they sold 320 monitors, 558 printers, and 107 laptops. In shop 2, they sold 216 monitors, 195 printers, and 54 laptops. This data, you can represent it in rows and columns within bracket as shown below. This is what you call matrix. Every number inside the bracket, that's what you call entries or elements. In matrix, there are rows and columns. As you can see here, this matrix has two rows. This is the first row and this is the second row. And also, it has column. The first column, second column, third column. An element is identified by its row and column position in a matrix. So for example, 320 is the elements in the first row and the first column. This is the position of elements. These elements. How about this element 195? This element is in the second row and the second column. That's the position of these elements. Now we're going to learn about order and dimension of matrix. Matrices usually denoted with capital letters. So those four matrices, those matrices are matrix A, B, C, and D. M by N, that's usually denoted for order or dimension of matrix. M represents the number of the rows and N is the number of columns. For example, in matrix A, there are 3 rows and 2 columns. So, the order or dimension of matrix A is 3 by 2. Remember, the number of row by the number of columns. How about matrix B? In matrix B, there are 2 rows and also 2 columns. So, the order of matrix B is 2 by 2. And matrix C, there are 3 rows and a single column, 1 column. So, the order of matrix C is 3 by 1. And for matrix D, there are 1 rows and 4 columns. So, the order of matrix D is 1 by 4. Let's jump to the example. A travel agent offered 3 types of overseas tour packages of 4 cities. The number of customers in each tour in a certain month is shown in the following table, as you can see here. So, represent the data by 3 by 4 matrix. Remember, 3 by 4 matrix. So, this is matrix T that represents this data. This is 3 by 4 matrix. You just simply need to add all these data inside the bracket. B. Calculate the sum of the elements in the first column of T. What does this sum represent? So this is the first column of T, and we add all those numbers together, we find the sum. The sum is 145. So what 145 represent? This, the first column, is actually the total number of customers joining the tour packages to Hong Kong. As you can see here, the first column is the number of customers to Hong Kong. C. Calculate the sum of the elements in the second row of T. What does this sum represent? So the second row, this is the second row, you add all those numbers together, you will find 318. And what does this sum represent? This sum is represent the total number of customers for the standard tour package, because the second row it represents the standard. So it's represent total number of customers for the standard tour package. Next example, the following matrix shows the results of Ali, May, and Paul in the 3 examinations: English, mathematics, and physics, as you can see in this matrix. So A. State the order of the matrix. Remember, the order of the matrix is the number of row by the number of column. As you can see here, there are 3 rows and 3 columns. So the order of the matrix is 3 by 3. Next, what does the elements in the first row and the second column represent? This is the first row and this is the second column. So the elements that we're talking about is 73. 73 is Ali's score in mathematics examinations. Next, equal matrices. 2 matrices A and B are equal, denoted by A equal to B, if they have the same order and their corresponding elements are equal. For example, if this matrix equal to this matrix, find the values of x, y, and z. So we know that this matrix equal to this matrix. That means every corresponding elements are equal. Like this one, this is the element for the first row and first column. And this element is element for the first row and the first column in this matrix. So they are corresponding elements. So they exactly the same. And then like this one, 13. 13 is the element at the second row and the second column. It is corresponding with these elements, the second row and the second column. They are equal because they are 13. So in order to find the value of x, y, and z, we have to find the corresponding element of x. X corresponding with 5. So x equal to 5. How about this one? 2y is corresponding with 7. So 2y equal to 7, y equal to 3.5. The last one, this element 8 is corresponding element with this element z minus 1. So 8 equal to z minus 1, so z equal to 9.